This is the beginning of an amazing journey. I'm going to travel to Sweden and Saudi Arabia as a 2016 Eisenhower Fellow and have the opportunity to meet and interact with some of the leading thinkers around space creation, design, and social impact through community development. It's been a great day. Started off with my first meeting of my fellowship with Ylva Williams, who's the CEO of Stockholm City Science Center. They are very interested in and making great strides to bring together the life science areas and the IT areas. Folks look to her as a convening power, much like RTP, where we seek to be that convening power for the Triangle and for North Carolina. Ylva and her group, the Stockholm City Science Foundation, is much the same way. The second meeting that I had as a part of my first day was with the Swedish Incubator and Science Park Association, and I met with their CEO, Magnus Lunden. He's doing some really fantastic work in connecting the 30 science parks and 40 incubators across Sweden together into a cohesive network. So he has a creative approach to using these incubator spaces, which are oftentimes smaller and individual, and connecting those over to feeding into a science park that is more established and has a real estate asset that's larger and has greater connections to the university that's there in the area. So it's quite interesting to think through that and to figure out, are there ways that we can take some pieces forward within North Carolina to help move that forward. Day 2 of the Eisenhower Fellowship started off with a meeting with Eric Weston, who is the regional director for Academic House. Academic House is the group that helps work with the universities and build out these individual buildings for these programs to be able to work in, and then partner with the universities to make sure that they have what they need to engage those different groups and bring them together. That is something very familiar with us from Research Triangle Park and what we do from our foundation as far as leveraging and collectively gathering those university partnerships for the betterment of North Carolina and moving us all forward together. So I thought that was something that really aligned with our purpose and a strong takeaway that's a consistent message. Just had a really amazing conversation with the leaders from the University of Uppsala. I'm here in Uppsala. They have a great innovation center, actually ranked in the top 10 in the world for bringing companies out of the universities and out of the community of Uppsala to be successful. So something that we've talked about in North Carolina, I think it has a lot of potential, something definitely we need to continue to pursue. But this is Uppsala, beautiful place, and I'm about to walk around and see some more. Västerås is a really interesting city, and the Västerås Science Park that's located there works closely with the university as well as with the companies that call Västerås home to find ways to connect the companies and technologies and ideas of people coming out of the universities, and is a bit of a different kind of model. And had the privilege of going with the CEO of Västerås Science Park to tour the Brixel Garden Sculpture Park. It added this whole different layer of how art and culture, along with economics and business and community, all fold in together, and how they feed each other to create a really unique space. And it was a wonderful experience to be able to see really firsthand that whole creative process and what that looks like. Lund, Sweden. It's an absolutely lovely city. I had the opportunity to go to Lund University and tour around the Humanities Lab, which was really a special place because it really, at its core, brings together the humanities that are so important, to me and how we function as a society, along with technology. They applied them to business. They applied them to research and the new innovations both in technology and in health and life sciences, and placed a human face on it, which was really helpful and encouraging to see how that comes to life from an audio studio where they study the sound, the way an orchestra works together. So it was really an interesting experience at the Humanities Lab. here at Lindholmen Science Park in Gothenburg, Sweden. Had a great conversation with the CEO, Nicholas Wahlberg, around how they leverage their 350 companies and their great location and partnership with Chalmers University and Gothenburg University, and really using this as a convening point with a visualization lab, a conference center, to bring those groups together around creative projects, which is a huge part of what he does throughout Sweden. So Nicholas has done a great job. Enjoy and hope to stay connected with him and finding new ways to connect Sweden and the U.S. and Research Triangle Park. So I'm here today at the Umeå University Arts Campus that has the Institute for Design and several other great organizations that bring the arts and creative processes directly into industry collaboration, from transportation, automotive, medical devices, prototyping, and 3D modeling, all feeding back into the way we work. They have wonderful maker space and creative space. Get to meet some wonderful people that are doing a great job of building bridges and connections between the universities, the private sector, the government, and society here in Sweden, and take something away for yourself to be able to use at home. So here we are back home. Had an amazing trip to Sweden for my Eisenhower Fellowship back in the Research Triangle Park. I was privileged enough to have a lot of really meaningful, important conversations that we should do something with, that I should do something with. A big revelation for me while traveling in Sweden and talking to all of these science parks and university leaders and company leaders and places that are interested in creating these places of innovation and convergence. Something that really stood out was all of them dealt with parts of a pie. So if you think about creating a place, you have real estate, you have buildings, you have property management, you have programming, you have community development, you have political engagement through policy and incentives, and the management of all of those pieces coming together. For us at RTP, something that really blew my mind was, we have a big pie here. We have a huge opportunity at Research Triangle Park and a huge responsibility. For us, having all of those pieces, having the partnership around the real estate side as well as the programmatic community side and the government side is a wonderful responsibility. And what I've learned in Sweden, what I've learned in my other travels, is that we can do that. And there's ways that we can create a whole new destination that can be the place for taking on these global challenges. And that's exactly what I want to do.